Have you ever wondered what could drive a peaceful protest to turn into one of the most horrific massacres in history? Let's journey back to the time of World War I, when British India was a significant part of the British war effort. Millions of Indian soldiers and laborers served in various parts of the globe, while the Indian administration and princes provided large supplies of food, money, and ammunition. Despite this, the seeds of discontent were sprouting in the heart of India. In regions like Bengal and Punjab, anti-colonial activities were brewing, shaking the very foundation of the British regime. Revolutionary attacks in Bengal and disturbances in Punjab had the regional administration on its toes. Amidst this rising tide of dissent, a pan-Indian mutiny was planned for February 1915. This was the most notable among several plots hatched between 1914 and 1917 by Indian nationalists in India, the United States, and Germany. However, British intelligence managed to infiltrate the Ghadar movement, which was at the forefront of this planned mutiny. Key figures were arrested, and smaller uprisings within India were swiftly crushed. In response to the growing threat from the separatist movement in India, and in the context of the British war effort, the Defense of India Act was passed in 1915. This act significantly limited civil and political liberties, further stoking the flames of rebellion. One man, Michael O'Dwyer, then the Lieutenant Governor of Punjab, stood as a stark symbol of this oppressive regime. He was one of the strongest proponents of the Defense of India Act, driven in large part by the looming Ghadarite threat. Little did he know, his actions were setting the stage for a tragedy of unimaginable proportions. As tension rose, a peaceful gathering was about to become a chilling event in the pages of history. Imagine a sunny day in April 1919, a crowd assembled in the Jallianwala Bagh, oblivious to the horror that was about to unfold. Picture this. It's the 13th of April 1919. A throng of people, men, women, and children gather peacefully at the Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar, Punjab. Their purpose is not one of violence or rebellion, but a peaceful protest against the Rowlatt Act and the arrest of pro-independence activists Saifuddin Kichlu and Satyapal. These individuals stand united in their conviction, their desire for freedom echoing in the heart of every person present. Now enters Brigadier General R.A.H. Dyer, flanked by his troops, a mix of Gurkha, Balak, and the 59th Cinder Rifles of the British Indian Army. The crowd perhaps feels a ripple of unease, but they remain steadfast in their resolve. Dyer, the temporary custodian of law and order, surveys the scene. He sees not a peaceful protest, but a gathering that, in his eyes, threatens the established rule. His response is as swift as it is brutal. Dyer orders his troops to surround the crowd. The Jallianwala Bagh, a public garden, is enclosed on three sides by buildings. There's only one exit, and Dyer ensures it is blocked by his troops. The crowd, once free and peaceful, is now trapped. But the worst is yet to come. Without warning, Dyer gives a chilling order to fire upon the crowd. The troops obey, their guns roaring to life, bullets tearing through the air. The crowd, taken by surprise, descends into chaos. They try to flee to escape the onslaught, but there is nowhere to run. The troops continue to fire, not ceasing until their ammunition runs dry. As the troops began to fire, the peaceful protest turned into a nightmare. The day that started as a peaceful gathering for change ends in a bloodbath, marking a dark chapter in the annals of history. An event that would forever be known as the Jallianwala Bagh Massacre. The echoes of gunfire had barely faded when the impact of this horrific event began to resonate across India and the world. The aftermath of the Jallianwala Bagh Massacre was a time of profound shock and outrage. The brutal attack had left between 379 to 1,500 or more people dead, and over 1,200 injured. The sheer scale of the violence stunned the nation and sent ripples of anger and disbelief across the globe. Winston Churchill, then Secretary of State for War, condemned the attack as unutterably monstrous, reflecting the widespread condemnation that reverberated through the halls of power. The British House of Commons was not immune to this sentiment. In a debate on the 8th of July 1920, they voted 247 to 37 against Brigadier General Dyer, the man responsible for the massacre. But the outcry was not confined to the corridors of power in Britain. In India, the massacre sparked a wave of non-cooperation that swept across the country. The non-cooperation movement of 1920 to 22 was a direct consequence of the widespread anger against the British. It was a powerful demonstration of unity and resistance against colonial rule. The massacre led to a significant re-evaluation by the British Army of its military role against civilians. The new policy emphasized minimal force whenever possible. This marked a shift in strategy, with the army being retrained and developed less violent tactics for crowd control. Yet this policy was not always adhered to, as later British actions during the Mau Mau Rebellion in Kenya would demonstrate. Many historians consider the Jallianwala Bagh Massacre a decisive step towards the end of British rule in India. The event shattered the faith of the Indian public in the intentions of the United Kingdom, accelerating the momentum towards independence. The Jallianwala Bagh Massacre, a chilling reminder of the price of freedom, changed the course of Indian history forever. In the face of such a tragedy, one might ask, what lessons have we learned? The Jallianwala Bagh Massacre was a horrific event that shocked the world, a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of unchecked power and a disregard for human life. It serves as a powerful lesson on the importance of valuing every individual's life and rights. This event has also shown us the strength of unity in the face of adversity. It was a catalyst for change, fueling the flames of the independence movement in India. It taught us that oppression can be overcome and that change is possible even in the direst of circumstances. The importance of remembering such events cannot be overstated. By keeping the memory of the Jallianwala Bagh Massacre alive, we remind ourselves of the need to continually strive for justice, freedom, and respect for human life. Let us not forget, history, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived. But if faced with courage, it need not be lived again. A profound thought to ponder upon.